G'day folks, Spackman here. Bloody stoked to be here with you once again, and today we're looking at some of Hello For Now's team members' ability to read bases. Some brilliant reads resulting in some fantastic fresh hit triples against GS, one of the best clans in the world. Now GS, repeat attendees in Poland at the World Championship qualifiers, and they did that justice in this war against us. We performed poorly as well, but they really came out strong, and we got thwomped. Let's not beat around the bush there. So 10 triples to 19, really well done. I was completely demoralised that I got tripled. I was really happy with the base. It stood up well against FCs, but the attack that hit me was not something myself or others had even considered, and I got fresh hit. Really shattered. Anyway, let's check this out. So the first hit is by Mosho on base number 4. And beginning with a big sort of funnel caused by the Peckers and the King. Record coming in about 3:30, 4 o'clock, followed by more Peckers, Queen, bowlers, Warden, healers, etc. We know the drill. The Pecker Bobat coming in with a big Pecker bowler healer squad and bats to clean off. Now in the centre, that jump there is key. It opens up so much of the base. Everything in the base is now basically accessible because of that jump. That's a brilliant jump and great insight from Mosho to be able to see that and take advantage of it. Now we're freezing down below here, don't miss that there, and dropping the bats. We've got 2 freezers to use in this bottom section and the bats clean up. Obviously the town hall isn't down yet, but the idea is that Mosho doesn't want all of his troops distracted by the defences over here. He wants them to hone in on this top section up here, and that's exactly what they do now that the bats have dealt with this area. One final freeze to deal with the Wizard Tower at 9 o'clock, and the Queen will finally deal with the Town Hall just before it starts getting involved with all these bats. An absolutely brilliant hit, only 2 minutes on the clock for the whole thing, wraps it up really nicely, really comfortable. The Queen ability is effectively swagged through this. Absolutely brilliant. We'll speed it up here because we can see this is done, and well done, Mosho, once again. Now, the second hit is not one that we see that often. Definitely not one that Hello For Now does that often, but often because bases just don't allow that type of an attack by BRG on number 6 here, and it's an E-drag hit. An E-drag hit. And as we can see here, if you're looking closer, there is an absolutely epic amount of just, chain lightning value for the E-drags here. So beginning the funnel, bowler up top. The bowler actually ends up getting this mortar up because it lasts long enough. A coconut loon for the baby dragon, and the King there funneling on the right-hand side. And you would have seen just down here, the Queen is funneling on the left and actually ends up getting the air defense, which is really helpful. So the King not only does a great job in funneling the right-hand side, but also lures the clan castle and manages to deal with effectively all of the archers that are there. Obviously, it can't attack the Hound, but BRG has some archers here and lures it right over to the right-hand side, out of the way, out of harm's way, so the E-drags don't even acknowledge its existence. Now, a number of sort of coconut loons here early on, but very few, as you can see, just a couple, 3, and then E-drags for the rest. Now, once the E-drags get through this sort of first sort of layer, they start just absolutely chaining the hell out of this base. Not to mention, as we can see here, the only slammer pointing to either northwest or southeast is pointing away from the E-dragons. Now, that top quadrant just got absolutely obliterated around this multi-inferno. Raged E-drags with the chain just deal so much damage. Still a number of rages and freezes in tow. The slammers come down on the town hall at the top there, freeze that area, so the slammer can not only take down the town hall, but also won't be destroyed until after the town hall is down. So the chain value has just been incredible. Everything's down outside of these few structures at the top, and the raged loons will do the job in getting that down. Brilliant hit. I mentioned in a recent video that Electrone is probably one of my favourite attack strategies in the game. A really great Electro Dragon hit in general, mass E-Drags, is also a really great one to watch. It's beautiful in the way it all comes together with the chain value sort of coming together and taking everything down. Well done again, mate. The last hit. What would a fresh hit triple 3-star video be without featuring War? Mentioned him a few times, always coming out with the fresh hit 3 stars. And this one here, a brilliant read, not so much in terms of where the bats are placed, but in terms of where the wrecker is placed. We see here the 3 Infernos. They're basically in a line right for that town hall. And effectively, what War does is he places his wrecker so that it's going to beeline straight through the middle of all 3 of them and gets access to every single, and takes down every single splash damage structure in the base, except for the top wizard tower and the bottom wizard tower. Now, there was some early funneling there by the kings and the peckers, and the queen was dropped for a tiny little bit extra with the healers, and now everything's coming into that section, the central section there. Early Warden to get through some of this tough early section under rage and deal with the Infernos, the Eagle Artillery, firepower, and everything there. And also help give the Wrecker some extra life to get into this final quadrant here right next to the Town Hall. And a jump is placed at the end, which in the end doesn't really get used as the Peckers do largely die out. They get a little bit of value themselves though. And the Queen finally gets to take down the Town Hall in a second. And while she's doing that, we've dropped an Ice Golem up top here, about 1 o'clock, to distract this Wizard Tower. And the bats are down, taking down everything else in the area. And as a result, we end up having 2 freezes left over for this final Wizard Tower as the bats are going to circle around and come down towards it. So as a result of this raid and the way the defences and the troops played out, there's only the bats and the warden left. There are a couple wizards still yet to be dropped, but the entire main army, the Beckers, the Bowlers, the King and the Queen, they're all wiped out, all gone, but no worries whatsoever, because with the amount of bats that are up, as well as some cleverly placed wizards at the very end, cleanup is not a problem, and this raid is basically over. War, well done, mate. Once again, brilliant hit. Anyway, guys, once again, thank you so much if you stuck around. Really appreciate it. Like the video if you're here. Obviously, you're liking the content if you stuck around, so I really appreciate that. And please do subscribe if you haven't, or, link this video to anyone who you think, might appreciate it. Anyway, thank you so much. I'll see you guys next time.